This is too much, and you need to be very mindful of this area. Now, look at this. It's just a summary of everything that we have discussed tonight on frequency range. You can see the sub bass, you can see the range, and you can see the description. That's where you have powerful and rumble. That's your base, depending on how you want it. If you understand how to use 20 to 60 hertz in your equalization, in your frequency range, then you'll be good by managing your sub and your power and the rumble. For the bass, for it to boom, thumb, and make it fat, you have to be very mindful and know how to operate, handle your 60 to 250K. The low mid range is from 250 to 500. That is when you have a full voice presence. For somebody that is singing soprano, for somebody that is singing tenor, for somebody that is singing treble. That's when you have the full voice in the low mid range. The mid range itself is from 500 to 20,000 hertz, which is 2K, 2 kilohertz. That is where you have the horn and the chips. That's 2K. You know, we mentioned about that. That's why you have the 1K. That's where you have the feedback. When it's on, you have feedback. The upper mid range is from 2,000. That's 2K to 4K. That's where you have the prominent and the on light. There you make it more prominent. You make your voice stand out. 4K make your voice stand out. Now the presence, that's from 4K to 6K. It's where you have the clarity and brightness. Where your sound can be clean and bright. You know, you like what you are hearing. And for the brilliancy, it's from 6K to 20 kilohertz. That's 6 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz. That's where you have the hair and the sparking, like the hi-hats. You hear the hi-hats coming out clean. You have the second coming out clean. And you must understand, one thing is that they are coming to that. Because as an audio engineer, if I should ask you now, which frequency does shekere belongs to? If you can identify the frequency shekere belongs to here, it's very difficult for you to mix shekere on your mixer. If I ask you now that as an audio engineer, flute, which frequency is flute belongs to in this frequency range? If you don't know it, then it is very difficult for you to mix your flute, your saxophone, and your trumpet. If I tell you now, which frequency the talking drum, which we always have issue, which frequency is talking drum belongs to? If you don't know the frequency that talking drum belongs to in this frequency range, then you have issue with the talking drummer, because you will not be able to give him exactly what is supposed to be sounding like. I mean, the talking drum. So that is why we cannot overemphasize this frequency range as an audio engineer. And if you don't understand it, you really, really, really need to get it up and understand. I will want us to stop here for tonight. And because by next week, we are going to go to equalization. Mind you, I want you to be very mindful of the frequency we have taken, because we are going to apply what we learned today on the equalization by next week. This is where we're stopping tonight. And I will want us to open the floor for the questions. If there's anybody with questions now, this a nice time for us to go on questions. Anybody with question, if you want to ask your questions now, the floor is open for questions. The floor is open for questions. The floor is open for questions.
Thank you very much for the how far you have explained this mostly the implement confusing in a setting. But my question is how do because in some shows your keyboards always give more headache in the sense that by the time you balance your keyboard, from him tuning it up and down, from his own keyboard, always make your settings uncomfortable.
Mm. Okay. Are you through with the question?
Yes, how do you deal with that? Because unlike people you have been working with, make sure your keyboard is in half. Don't leave it like that. Allow me to do the rest. But sometimes you are working with strange people. Maybe they just come and hire your setup. This person by the time he bring it down from his own setup. So sometimes is output will now go very sharp and very high. Then you have to bring it down. Then from his own side, later you bring it down. So sometimes it makes you want your setting uncomfortable.
Okay. All right. You can mute your mic. Uh, I think if I understand you better, because your network was actually breaking, but you are talking about keyboard and the problem with mixing the keyboard. Fine. Now, most of the time, what we do is to listen to it the way it sounds. We don't really look at the frequency of a keyboard. On a keyboard note, there are many frequencies there. Yes, on a keyboard note, there are many frequencies there. And towards the left side, apart from the key E, F, C, E, F, G, and all those things, which is key for the keyboard itself, the notes and the octave. We have some keyboards that are 7 octave, some are 6, some are 5, some are 8 octave. Now, the person that is playing the keyboard, most of the time, I noticed that we used to take one out from the keyboard into our console, and they put left and right, but we use only one jack to bring it out into the mixer. I can tell you that you are depriving yourself of a complete sound of that keyboard into your mixing, and it will be very difficult for you to get the proper tuning. Though I'm working on connections after this topic, we'll be looking at how to connect your instrument to mixer, and also how to connect your mixer to power amplifier in the live setup. That's another topic. After we finish this pattern, we're going to that. You see, I was making mention of something last week. Maybe you are not here. You see, the keyboard itself has a preamp inside. That's why when it's increased, it's why he has the ability to amplify itself because he has a preamp on the output range. That's why when you plug an headphone into the headphone region, the person can hear him or herself when you are playing the keyboard without connecting to your mixer at all. Now, if you are connecting your keyboard into the mixer, most of the time we connect it directly just the way it comes and we plug it into our mixer. Do you know that normally we are not supposed to have keyboard go into the mixer directly? It's supposed to go through a DI box. All these things have to do with impedance matching to be able for you to be able to get the right mix signal from the keyboard into your mixer. But once we don't use DI box, we plug it direct. I can tell you that you will find it difficult to get a good mix. Yes, categorically, you find it difficult to get a good mix. And when you try to get a good mix, even the unbalance that you took out from the keyboard itself, which is not left and right, it's supposed to be left and right output from the keyboard to come into your mixer, maybe two input like channel 15 and 16. Then you can have the two signal coming from the keyboard into your console. Then you're able to mix. But most of the times, I said, we take only one and put it on one channel, maybe channel 15. I want to mix a keyboard. My brother, you can't get a good mix from it. And even when you are connecting from that into your keyboard, you don't have a DI box to do the impedance matching for you, to help you attenuate. Because there are some things in audio engineering that is designed to help us, but we don't use it. We don't use those type of equipment or audio gears. We thought it doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't count. What is this doing? No. You see, most of the DI box, they are used to control the attenuation of the preamp inside the keyboard or inside the bass guitar or inside the lead guitar that is coming to your mixer. If you don't have a DI box, I can tell you, you may likely have issues and you will not be able to get a great mix. So, if I may ask you, are you using a DI box between your keyboard and your console? What type of connection are you using? It is jack from your keyboard, jack input to your audio mixer, or jack from your keyboard to the audio link XLR, then XLR into your mixer. All these are very, very important. So connecting your equipment to mixer is a topic that I would like to treat. But definitely, if you are not doing any of the two, if you don't have DI box between your keyboard and your mix and your what's it called, your the console, then you may likely have issue with your mixing, because I can tell you that some frequency will be missing, especially when you don't have the left and right coming out into your console through a DI box. You cannot get the proper mix for keyboard, and the sound will never be a satisfactory one. Yes, I can tell you the sound will never be a satisfactory one. So I don't know whether I've answered your question, Mr. Moses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir. So there is actually one thing I also noticed about those keyboardists. It happens with the unprofessional ones among them, and the frequency. There is actually a frequency that do disturb a lot, and that is the mid range between 500 to 2000 hertz. So that is
Okay.
because most of them don't. Yes, most of them don't really know how to tune their keyboard. They just on it and just do whatever. But if you see the professional ones, I never had problem with them. But those unprofessional ones, between that mid range, you just be hearing some, and most of them don't know how to use pedals also. So at this point, there are foot pedals. They can actually control that frequency that disturbs, but they don't also know. I've provided foot pedals for many of them. They don't know how to use it. So the only thing I do, especially in cases where I don't have DI boxes, what I do is their mid range, whichever way it's during my own gain structure, I cut it. So when I cut it a bit, it normally gets rid of that disturbing noise. So that is what I do. That is what I have noticed as well. I've noticed it a lot. So that's all I have to say, sir.
Thank you, Damilare, for the
Yes, sir.
contribution. Thank you. Is there any person again with any question? Any question arising with the topic we have done tonight? Any question? Okay. If there's none for now, I want to employ us. The last training we had last Sunday was uploaded on the YouTube, and I've seen some view, and I'm expecting us to also subscribe to GFI Audio Engineering page. There are some other things that will be coming up that you get notification from there, and it is technology that we are trying to explore. See what we are doing now on Telegram. It's just like you're inside the class or inside the training room, where I can project my PowerPoint to the screen for everybody to read. I'm projecting a PowerPoint for my house here, and everybody, even outside Lagos, can see. So the technology has helped us to go beyond walls and to go beyond barriers. So, as I've said, I'll be uploading this, but it will not be immediately, and I would like to break it down into some maybe 15 minutes where you can easily get it and just go through it. Like today's own now, definitely I will do some breakdown on it and see how that one. But anytime you go online and a YouTube page, you can subscribe, because there are some other hints I will be giving and some other video I'll be uploading on that YouTube that will be of benefit to us. So, and you can only get those information if you subscribe. To give you a notification, and you can watch at your own pleasure time. Thank you for tonight.